All right. Let's get this stuff situated so we can start playing today. Just got to figure out how to work this thing. Preview. There we go. Got it. Hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome back to the stream where we do InfoSec stuff. So lots of labs. Sometimes we're building stuff, which we'll be building today, setting up a lab for folks to start playing and starting to understand how all the pieces fit together. Other times we hop in pre-made labs like THM to focus on the skills of investigating per se. But most of all this channel or this stream and channel, yep, sure, is all about answering those questions that folks have. There's lots of them out there. There's lots of information out there about InfoSec, what happens in an everyday job, all that stuff. You get to ask all those questions here live with a true practitioner and actually a hiring manager. So if you have any questions about how do I get my resume through or what do you look for, this is a great place to do that. So welcome. If you're brand new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel free to blow up that chat with questions, comments, questions. If you are sitting at your computer watching me, I urge you to put your hands on keyboard and play along today and always on the stream. Play along and get that experience that you need to get through those interviews and in the job, in the role that hopefully everyone's working on breaking into. So yeah, thanks. If you're not following yet, if you're not, or whatever it is on all the platforms, make sure you follow, subscribe, all the things. Stay engaged in the community. We have a Discord channel right now, soon to be another community open. Hop in there, ask questions, stay engaged, and let me know too, in between these streams on Thursday, let me know what type of videos you would like to see that will help you, grow into that role you want to be in. That's what I'm here for. So I think those are all the big, cool, fun, advertisement things. Is advertise self-promotion. There we go. We'll use that word. That we'll do today, and I'll start dripping some of that through here today. Part 2 of our setup Elastic in a Windows lab to practice our investigation skills. So part 2 of that. Don't worry if you think the video is crap. Don't worry. I know we were struggled with a lot of issues last time. I'm going to make a separate video of me just doing this process smoothly, so it's a little bit easier to follow. But yeah, we'll get that out as soon as I get on the backside of this pen test. So right now, my time's kind of limited. I had to apologize for a viewer. He sent his resume over, and I just now, right before this, responded back like, "Hey, sorry. Yes, I will get to your resume today," which we have a resume today. Keep sending those over. Because I'm working my day job and I have a side business where I do pen tests, and I have an 80-hour pen test to do. So I've been busy last week, this week, and next week trying to get all that in, do all the fun stuff. Yeah, so what else has been going on? Oh, I do want to share something. I got something cool, and so I got an award yesterday that I stepped out to get, and I just wanted to share the name of the organization I thought was really cool. So if we have any vets out there, there's an organization called Military Cyber Professionals Association. I'll share that if you can see it. There we go, in the lights. And they're pretty cool. So it's free to join if you're a veteran. So that's super cool. And they do... Kind of reminds me how the old DEF CON meetups used to be, where they have a practitioner up there talking through technical stuff. They had a red teamer up there last night talking about how they do stuff in the government space, military space. So that was pretty cool to hear. Shared some stories, some fun stories about funny situations when they're doing physical engagement. So lots of fun there. But me and another one of my coworkers, and actually my company's owner, got different awards. So this is a cool one. It's actually like a medal. I've never gotten a medal from an organization, but super cool to be honored with this for doing stuff in the community, which is what it was for. It's called the Order of Thor. So a fun name. I wish I was as cool as a Viking god, but I'll take it, right? But super cool organization. I just want to bring them up because they're doing really good stuff. And I will say, I've started a couple of communities before in Charleston, and it's so hard to build a community and get it up to a really kind of critical capacity where you're doing cool stuff. This was the first, first meeting that they had in Charleston, and they had 45 people attending. That is incredible for Charleston. Like, it's hard to get 10 or 15 nerds out to these things, get them out of the house to these things. They got 45 people out. So amazing turnout. If any of the viewers here are in Charleston, go check it out. They're doing cool stuff. I definitely will keep attending because I love supporting this type of stuff. We've been struggling in Charleston with cybersecurity communities and networking events. So super cool. Yeah, thanks, Fitness. Yeah, I thought it was pretty sick. I was like, wow, actually, this looks like something cool. And there's got some zeros and ones on the back and cloud. They did a really good job designing this. They also had Yeti cups they were giving away. I didn't get one of those. Those look pretty sick too. I always love a good coffee mug for those late night hack sessions, But yeah, so super cool. I'll put their URL in the video post on this. But just a reminder to all the folks out there, if you're looking to get engaged with your community or start meeting some people in the profession before you get there, check out these events. So again, this was the Military Cyber Professionals Association, but DEF CON has a lot of groups out there. CompTIA has some groups out there. ISC Square has some groups. That was one of the first ones I actually attended up when I was up in Detroit, was an ISC Square one. So get involved in those communities. Just hop on, what's this site? Meetup.com. Take a peek, see what you have in your area. And I encourage you to get out there, start meeting some people. You might be able to find a mentor. You might even be able to get a job. I've heard of a lot of folks getting a job through these things. And I know I love to chat with people trying to break in. So great experience, great place to ask questions. Just really cool to get involved in the community anyways. So get out there, go AFK one evening a month, 2 evenings a month, go meet some people in the space and learn some stuff. So there you go. All right. So Fitness, question for you. Are we outdoor dashing today, or are you taking a break? You're hustling harder than me, man. So we have a cool guy in the audience today. He's always on here, but he was out working hard and listening to the stream last time. So just shout out to Fitness over there, working hard, working real hard. There's another fun announcement I was going to say, and it'll come to me. No DoorDash today. Nice. Yes, we're going to make an amazing community. Actually, I'm excited to start seeing a ton of success stories coming out, I love seeing wins from people trying to break in. Hey, I got my first interview, or hey, I got my first offer, or I got my first certification. I love that stuff. And I'm going to live vicariously through everyone here because I don't have time for a certification, although I'm looking and I'm chomping at the bit to do another certification. I want to finish the OS offensive security ones, but I also need to do my CISP. 10 decade in it, and I don't have it yet. I need to do it. But so I'm going to live vicariously through you guys. And this is actually my way to do technical stuff because I don't get to do a ton of technical stuff in my day-to-day job, sadly. I spend time in meetings and sitting next to people who do this stuff. So this is my chance to have fun, let loose, have a good time. Sweet. All right, so vote in chat. Do we want to do a resume first or last, or do we want to dive into the technical stuff? Hello, L. I'll shout out to you. Welcome back, dude. And hello to everyone else lurking in our different areas. So we got someone out on Twitch, got a few people on YouTube viewing. So yeah, you can catch this stream a couple of different places, and I do that intentionally so we can make sure the word gets out there. Definitely make sure to share. If you're getting something out of this, share it. I know my cousin does some sharing. She's in school for this, and she calls me. Well, she's been doing pretty good, actually. She used to call me it felt like every few days with questions about stuff, but she must be hanging in there pretty good now. I remember what I was going to tell everyone. So I was pulling the recording episodes down on YouTube because ChatGPT said that it would hurt my analytics because I don't know anything about analytics. I just do cybersecurity stuff. So I was listening to that. However, we got quite a few people here that say they go back and watch the videos. So I want to make sure you're getting what you need to be successful. So we will leave those things up. But you should be able to find the recordings for about a week, maybe 2 weeks on Twitch, and then YouTube, excuse me, they'll be up permanently. And I'll also try to add some descriptions and chapters and stuff to it too to help out. So L says, technical stuff first. Sounds good. I have a trick I learned. It's not a trick. Maybe, I guess we can call it a trick. Pro tip. We'll call it a pro tip. I'll show you today because we were having issues last time unzipping, well, all the files that we got. It was just taking forever. So I found something that works. I use the tool usually. This was just a fresh instance, and so I didn't use it this time. But now I did, and everything worked lovely. All right, we'll do technical stuff. What else is going on? PCDC is coming up in all around the U.S. as well. So if you're in college, I encourage you. I should write down all these things, all these announcements. I need to get more professional here. Sorry, everyone. I'm letting you down. PCDC is coming up. So it's like a CTF, capture the flag. A lot of colleges do it. Some groups, they call it like pros versus Joes type days coming up. I think Charleston's is April. So I should be out there for Charleston. So if you're in Charleston watching this, I'll see you there. Good luck competing. I don't know if I'll compete, but I'll at least be there checking out my folks that will be competing on behalf of our organization. So it should be cool. Should be lots of fun. All right, let's hack or counter hack. Is this considered hacking? The way I do it, it's all considered hacking because it's definitely figuring stuff out. That's for sure. Just so you know, I am not an engineer by trade. I am a hacker for sure. So I just make stuff possible, which is more fun. So this is all live. I don't prep any of this, which I should probably start doing a little bit more, but we can fix it in the edit on the backside. So I will be working through issues. Hopefully that helps you guys see that, everything is not straightforward. I will promise you, if you're in cybersecurity, probably a good at least 25 to 50% of your time will be just simply troubleshooting and trying to work through issues. So this is highly realistic type of situation. This is the stuff you would be doing all the time. So this is real. If you want real stuff, this is real stuff. So don't be afraid if you think you're struggling. Everyone struggles. The key is, can we get to the answer? And hopefully that is yes, we can. Fitness, yes, it is fun. I've done a couple of them before. I've been a mentor on these, and they're a lot of fun. I love CTFs personally. I don't have time to do them anymore, sadly, because I spend all my time doing this kind of stuff. But I definitely highly encourage it. I should get involved in some of the CTF communities here. But yeah, they're awesome. They're a really good time. I wish I could live stream doing a CTF, but it would probably ruin all the fun and then work on it together. That'd be pretty sick, being able to do it with everyone. We'd have a good time, I think. We'd have a real good time. Maybe I could make one up and we just do it live together or have some people do it. I don't know. We'll play with that idea. All right, so let's pick up where we left off. We set up, what did we set up? We set up Sysmon. So Sysmon is a really common tool in Windows environments. You should see it in just about every environment you'll work in as an analyst. We also enabled PowerShell logging, so script block logging. Again, something very powerful and very often used in environments. And now, and the very last thing we did was set up the Elastic setup. So Elastic software, that's what's going to be collecting logs for us. And what we have left is to set up Kibana and start getting the logs into our SIM setup so we can start looking at them. And then after we get that set up, spoiler alert, we're going to do some hacking and see what it looks like in our logs. So we're going to be doing a little bit of purple teaming, I guess you could say, so that we can do the attack, see what it will look like as a defender, and then you can see kind of the whole picture. Because the hard part of what most of you folks will be doing is all you're doing is looking at the end result, looking at the logs, and trying to figure out what the bad guy did. So we're going to look at all of it to help you do just the one piece in the future. Cool. So it looks like Fitness has, what do you say? That was me yesterday troubleshooting Splunk after I kept saying that it couldn't query my indexes because of storage issues on the VM. Engineering, man, that's no fun. No fun. All right, so let me talk through the thing I learned today. So last time we were here, we were unzipping these because they come compressed. So compression, this should be one of those questions on the Sec Plus. What's the difference between encryption, hashing, compression, all those things? So compression basically allows you to have smaller files. And what that does is it allows you to transfer them across networks a lot easier because they're smaller, significantly smaller too. Like they're a fraction of the regular size. Anyways, we pull these down and they're compressed, so we can see the compression is like a .zip file. So that's what you're seeing, a compressed file when you see .zip or tar. Some of you have probably seen tar balls out there, and probably some other variations of compression. Well, typically what we'll do is just right click, right, and say extract all, and that's going to unzip it, build it into Windows. Well, last time it was saying it was going to take hours to unzip, and we had to end the stream before we were able to unzip Kibana, sad face. This time I was trying to prep it because I told you I was going to get my crap together and prep a little bit more before this one so that we didn't have as many issues, we could have more fun, right? And so I went to do it again. I was just going to let it run for 30 minutes or an hour. And it started running into issues where it was saying the file name was too long during the regular decompression. And I was like, uh-oh. And it wouldn't let me try again. There was an issue with the way Windows was handling it. So moral of the story is, even if we got to the same point last time, we were going to run into issues where it was having issues decompressing it because the file name was too long for Windows. Now, I used 7-zip. So I downloaded 7-zip to take care of it this time. So this is another external tool, and I'll throw it in chat, the link to it, and we can do the same thing. We can extract the files with it. And I will tell you, where the other one was taking 30 minutes to an hour, this one took less than 5 minutes. So not only was it able to handle the file name during the extraction, but it did it in a much, much quicker amount of time. So definitely think about in your lab, have 7-zip, and typically I do because if you're handling like gunzip, GZ files, you'll probably have to use 7-zip. It'll handle pretty much all kinds where built-in Windows doesn't handle every type of compression. So there you go. Feel free to drop any more questions about that in here. I'm going to drop 7-zip into chat. So if you don't have it in your lab, it might be a good thing, especially if you're doing big files. And I checked all my stats and configurations for this. I had 16 gigs of RAM and I had 150 gigs of hard drive space. So I wasn't short on power. I should have had plenty, and then I forget how many CPUs. I had a ton of CPUs too on this. It was just Windows, being Windows. You know, what are you going to do? All right, so with that being said, let's figure out how to install Kibana. So I've already unzipped it, you know, movie magic, like we're on a cooking show. It's baked, we're good. It's in the oven, and it's ready to go. We have it here. So here's all the good stuff. Now we have to figure out what we need to do to actually install this and access it. So that's the next part here. We have one piece installed, now we got to do this one. So let's see if we can find it. So we'll go to the documents, read the manual. What do they call it? Read RFM. Yep, good times. Let's see, install on Windows. Let's jump to that. Maybe. There we go. And so we have it here. We want to CD into it, and then we need to do start Elastic. How do we start Elastic? CD, in terminal CD to this. All right, and then we want to start Elastic. Elastic should be started. We set it up as a service last time. And then we want to start Kibana. All right, so we need to open up a terminal window. We'll run as admin. I don't know if we need to run as admin, but we'll do it because I'm going to be lazy and I don't want to fight it today. But you should always do it in the most secure state possible. We'll go ahead and CD. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. Let me know if you cannot see my screen. And I copied and pasted wrong. So just some funny facts. It's hard to paste like Control C in these things, but if you right click, it'll automatically paste into the CMD. If you're in Linux, doing a Control Shift V will paste, and it should paste with clear text as well. Or not clear text, but without any formatting, which is key. Formatting can ruin your life in cybersecurity and IT. All those non-displayable characters, sheesh, they will make you pull your hair out. I'm telling you. That and typos. That and typos. All right, so we're going to start Kibana.bat. So bat is a batch file that's running a bunch of commands for us. And it's saying it should create a bunch of stuff for us. So tokens, usernames, passwords, all these things are going to be generated on the first startup of Kibana. And then once it's up and running, what we should be able to do is we should be getting an IP address and a port number, and we should be able to log into it at that point. So we'll wait for it to chug along, and what I'm going to do while it's doing that is I'm going to look, and we're going to look at Task Manager. Sheesh, I already have an update. I just updated this thing. Golly, it drives me nuts. We're going to look to see if we have a process running for Elastic. It should be running as a service, but I don't see it. We may have to start it up again, which is fine. Let's see, details. It should fill up here in a second. There we go. I don't see Elastic running. So we may have to start Elastic. I don't see it here. Well, we do see Sysmon, so that at least got installed correctly. So we'll probably have to start up Elastic, and then we will have to start this up. So that might be why it errored out. Invalid package configuration. So we may need to do some other stuff. So we're going to open up two windows here. We are going to say run this, and we are going to go to, we're going to CD to the other one, which is Elasticsearch. And we're going to copy this, CD to it. And let's rearrange these windows slightly so we can see everything on one screen. There we go. Might be a little small. Might be a little small. That's okay. The troubleshooting begins. Indeed, sir. Indeed. All right. So we'll need to open up. We'll need to set up Elastic first, which I think we did. We set up the cluster. Oh, this is where we had to sign up for. I'm not messing with that mess. Drives me nuts. I can't stand Medium. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. But if you want to create a blog, I highly encourage it. Maybe you can use that as well. I just won't read your blog if you have it paywalled or force me to log into an account. It's just super annoying to me. But if you do write a blog, send it my way. Send it my way. All right, so, oh, this was cloud, so we couldn't use that mess anyways. All right, so let's get rid of that. Let's do a install Elastic. The troubleshooting begins. Deploy Elastic cluster. So the issue is we have some that are in the cloud, some that aren't. Yeah, it has. I guess they're trying to figure out how to get some of that money. You know, whatever, I guess. Do you, boo? All right. This Windows system really hates stuff sometimes. I don't know why. So install Elastic. Let's go to Elastic, supported. Just tell me how to do an installation. Here we go. Before you start, no, we're not going to do anything before we start. We're just not going to read the manual because we're lazy. I think we did all this stuff though. So we're just going to run Elastic first. So we're going to do this. Then we're going to run the other one, see if that fixes it. And I'm doing it that way because I'm being lazy and I'm trying to see if we can just solve the problem very quickly. Chances are we're not going to solve the problem that quickly because life. I'm also curious if I created a different folder for this. So let's see. I don't know if I created a tools folder or not. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll organize my stuff right. If we were installing this for real, I know this is just a lab, but even in your lab, I wouldn't install it out of downloads. I'd create a folder for it. Try to be a little bit organized because, well, you could be trashing everything in your that's Sysmon there. You could be trashing everything in your downloads. So, you know, it is what it is. Go get you some coffee, fitness. Go get it, man. So you never know. And we're just waiting for this thing to load up. It's got to go through a bunch of junk to get started. So we see it loading up the modules here. It errored. Darn it. Darn it. All right, so let's go see Elastic logs. It's not going to be there. It's going to be in downloads. We have an error. How about that? Logs. Which one? Elasticsearch.log. Let's go take a peek. 115. So this was last week. Let's go to the end. Let's change our format to word wrap. Although it's not as easy to read. Let's see. Native, stopping, watch service. Let's see if we can find own relative clock, which is above warn threshold. No repositories to fetch. Let's see. Shard started. Timer thread slept for 6.8 seconds on absolute clock, which is above threshold. What we're doing is we're looking for something that could cause it not to start properly. And I don't see anything here. Stopped watcher engine, watcher shutting down. Native controller process is stopped. No native process can be started. I don't. So this is all shutting down. I wonder if it has to do with this clock stuff. Yeah, you know, we probably should do it on Docker. Probably make it easier. Probably would. It's just always funny to me to do it on Docker in a VM because I don't ever install anything on my main system. But so it's like a VM, Inception VM, VM in a VM. And then, of course, we have to use Google because Bing sucks. So we're not going to use Bing. Let's see. Elastic service crash. Not interested. Go away. Let's see. Because it's probably something in the configuration file we need to deal with. Why are these pages loading so funny? Does anyone know? Let's see. Let's see. Is anyone saying anything interesting? They're saying resources. We should have plenty of resources. You thought we would have had this figured out yesterday. You have several options for starting Elastic. You can run from the command line or run as a service. If you're starting a node that will be enrolled in a cluster, refer to that. So we probably need to do some of this other stuff. We're not enrolling a node, but we probably do need to do this-ish. So open this and multi-mode all need to have the same name. Let's just check our YAML. I know we did some work in the YAML last time. That's how you say that if you want to be cool. Say YAML. And I think it was in configs, maybe. And so elasticsearch.yaml, we'll just click edit on it. And so, oh, luster name. I think we had a typo there, and that might be why. Maybe, but there was definitely a typo. Cluster name. We gave it a cluster name. It says by default, Elastic runs on local hosts for Elastic instances on other nodes. So we don't really care about it running on local hosts because we're just accessing it on this VM itself. So not a big deal there. This is also looking for external connections. We don't really care about that either. So let's try to run it again, see if it will. Not Kibana, we need Elastic first. Elastic. So I did save our progress, and I saved what the change was. So I just added a C. It was a luster, not cluster. It could be something that simple. Who knows? Who knows at all? And I'll put this up from Fitness. He says he used Docker. Docker is a really good way to install stuff these days. It just makes life a lot easier, just basically creating a kind of a self-contained environment, and it makes it easy to replicate whatever you're doing. And a lot of people utilize that now in applications on the internet. They use Docker or containers, so they're called containers, and just makes it easier to replicate the environment. Ah, man, error again. But all good. Let's see. Bootstrap failed. You must address the points described in the following lines before starting Elastic 4. Bootstrap failure 1. The default discovery settings are unsuitable for production use. Must be configured. For more information, what does it say? Settings are at least one of discovery seed hosts must be configured. All right, so let's figure that out. So I want everyone to think, kind of just think what we're doing here. So whenever you get errors, we just want to systematically work our way through them. Get used to reading errors in the logs. Because you have to. Nothing ever works the way we expect it, ever. You learn it in a course, it worked really well in the course, and then you do it in real life, it's going to break. I promise you. So you need to get used to reading the errors, the error logs, which we were reading here. This is errors. We were systematic, we're just walking through and then we need to resolve whatever it's complaining about. And it's the same if you're in the offensive world. Your tools are going to complain, they're going to groan, and you're going to have to address whatever the concerns are. So let's do the first one here and see what happens. So discovery configuration check. Within a few seconds, Elastic will form a cluster that includes any other nodes that were discovered. Let's see. Note that you must remove from configuration of every node after the cluster has started for the first time. Instead, configure discovery seeder if you do not need any discovery configuration. For instance, if you're running a single node cluster, then set discovery seeds to this to disable discovery. So let's see if we can find that in here. So we're looking for where it's talking about the clusters. So here, discovery seed host. So discovery seed host, so this one. So it's saying just make it empty. Okay. And let's see what else we need. Let's see. Instead, configure discovery seed host or discovery seed providers. So I wonder if that's enough, because it does a really bad job of telling us what to do here. Let's see if we can Google it, or we can ask AI on Google. Let's see, single host lab setup. I should have put Elastic. Discovery type, single node. This is where we start breaking stuff. That discovery type, single node. Let's do this. And notice I'm not even checking. I'm just yellowing it right now. I should not, but you know, whatever. This is why we do stuff in a lab environment, because who cares? So let's go ahead and rerun and see if we have the same complaint. There was a two. Transport SSL must be enabled if security is enabled. Please set expect security transport to true or disable. Or disable by setting expect enabled to false. Okay, cool. We did that. So we should be good. We saved it. Let's run it again. See what other types of complaints we get. And troubleshoot some more stuff. Why not? I can't tell if it's hitting enter or not. Don't know. There we go. Now it's going. We'll take a drink break. Yeah, I'll tell you, we run into issues all the time in the offensive world. So doing pen testing stuff is always breaking, because it's usually just community driven tools, and so they're not staffed by tons of people fixing all the problems. It's just they're just not well developed products, but they work, right? They work for a specific given use case, and they're relying on the community to talk and resolve problems. So this is a thing to be expected. So, on the downside, when we're doing labs and try hack me or hack the box or wherever, and they're not working, we have like this urge to be frustrated, which, yeah, you should be. But on the other side of it, it's good to be frustrated and to learn to start working through these problems, because it's super realistic. You're going to be doing it every day anyways. It just takes away a little bit from your learning experience because of that. But yeah, so just want to say, get used to it. suck it up, Buttercup. No, no, just it's a normal thing. We have a question while this thing is loading. L says, have you tried setting up Wazoo or Wazoo? I've actually I've never set it up. I think I have used it in a CTF. I have not. What is that? Is that a web application thing? Or a network one? Because we might set up some network stuff if we don't have that. Let's click this and see what it is. Most widely adopted open source cybersecurity platform unifying XDR SIEM into a single solution, analyzes security data across endpoints, clouds, networks to detect threats, respond to incidents, and ensures. Let's see what it looks like. Do they have any cool pictures? They do. Let's see. Can everyone see this? Please holler in the comments if you can't see what I'm doing here. So we got a dashboard. There's some benchmarks here, not specifically security focused per se. Let's see if we can see a security focused thing. So it says malware, scripting. So there are some alerts. I wonder how it works. We might try to set this up. This is a good suggestion, L. Thank you. This is part of it too. Let's play with some stuff. Let's see what happens. And you never know. You never know. Maybe we find something cool. I'm always down to learn about cool stuff. And if it's free and open source, even better. Let's see, there's vulnerability detection in here too. Let's see, agent pulls software inventory data and sends this information to the server. Collected inventory data then correlates with continuous updated CV. This is cool. This is what a lot of SIMs are doing now. So Elastic can do this. Splunk can do this. So this is cool. It's pretty interesting. Is it free? I don't know. We can dig into that. And it says it's open source, so it should be free. I guess we'll see. Let's see what Fitness said in the comments. Fitness said, I've heard good things about it since it's all a one package with multiple solutions inside. Okay. And then L says, I used it as a SIM between two VMs and it was pretty cool. Sweet. So some resounding support here for however you say this. That's in the comments. How do we say this? Help me. Is it Wazoo? How do we pronounce? And then I'll try to see if I can read your pronunciation annotations, whatever that's called. So this looks like it's ready. Let's see what happens with Kibana.bat. Didn't work. So with Kibana.bat, it says we have so this didn't complain, so I think we're good. Now we just need to figure out the issues over here. Invalid package configuration. So let's pop this into Google. And I'll leave this up just in case we have to come back to it. And we're going to put in here Kibana and see if it helps us out. Corrupted, nope. It actually indicates security configuration problem. Let's see. We don't need this log. What we do need is what it's pointing to. So we'll provide this to it. See, I am setting up for the first time. This is the file it is pointing to. Adding a little specifics can sometimes help it get you an answer a little bit better. Let's see, type a specific version of Node.js, check the package or node version file and root. Directly see the required version. Let's see. In Windows environments, some files, especially those under a Babel, may fail to load if user does not have permissions to execute. So we are running as elevated, which I was concerned about for a second. Nope, we just have some errors here. And so I think we just need to solve those. So install this. Handshake failed. We didn't get a handshake failed. Let's see. So that is elastic. We want Kibana. Here we go. Start elastic. So what I'm doing is looking for where it may tell us how to configure the configurations, because that's probably our issue at the moment. So it says you can start Kibana. When you start Elastic Node for the first time, it automatically performs the following security setup: generates the TLS certificate, applies TLS configuration settings to elasticsearch.yaml, sets a password for the Elastic super user, and creates an enrollment token to securely connect Kibana to Elastic. So these are all things it's supposed to do on its own here. Let's see. Make Kibana. So this is externally accessible. Again, we're just running it locally. If we wanted to connect it to other things, oh, I got hiccups. Sheesh. Then we may need to. Let's see. Jeez, my eyes itching. Kibana loads its configurations from here by default. The format config is explained here. So let's look at some of that. I feel like our configuration file is jacked up, and that's our problem. So let's do a quick Google Kibana first time. To start Kibana, so it's saying we should be able to just run it, but that is not the case. So simple. Where's all the simple stuff? We're going to figure it out, folks. We're going to get there. Don't you worry. We're going to get there. This one's older, but it might work. Deny. Go away. All right, installing. So this is wget. This is all Linux. But what's bad is I've done this before, and I don't remember it being this complicated. But it's also been, I don't know, probably 6 years since I've done it. Let's see. Let's look at this a little bit closer and see if it tells us anything we missed. Timestamp, breakdown, start true, get rev, common, interactive, invalid package. Just look at package.json real quick. Let's take a peek at this. Let's just take a peek at this file. So this is the file that it is not loving right now. Let's open up a notepad. There's nothing in it. No wonder it doesn't like it. All right. I mean, it looks like there's something in here. Let's see. Now we have to figure out what's supposed to go in package.json. All right, so let's get the path. Let's copy the path. Let's see. Package.json. Let's see. What we may need to do, and I might do this, we may just blast Kibana away. And then here's a package.json. What the heck's in this? What the heck? Because this could be for anything. Let's just do this. We're gonna delete it. I know. We're gonna delete it and then we're gonna redo it and see if that solves our problem. Because I think something's just missing. And like I said, I had some issues where I was unzipping it earlier. I stopped it, then I started unzipping, and I told it to just leave files alone. So maybe it partially extracted that and then stopped. So that might be the issue. But by deleting it and then recreating it, we should solve any issues where there were corruption issues with it. So we actually need to back out of this. There we go. Let's try it again. Folders in use. That's what that means. So if you get that, it just means there's a handle on that folder and it's not able to delete it if there's a handle. So we spoke about, I think we spoke about handles a couple of episodes ago or a couple of streams ago. And that's all it means. The handles can stop you from doing stuff. Oh, I didn't ask folks in the crowd, any big wins that you'd like to share with the group today? We would all love to hear any big wins. I shared mine, getting in an award this week. Pretty cool. What other big wins do we have out there? Surely we've got some. Any interviews, any courses you completed, or big steps you took on your journey? That's what we want to hear. All right, so while folks are typing, hopefully, we're going to extract. And so as I right click, you can see it says 7-zip here. We're going to extract files. We're going to do it again and hope it doesn't take very long. Look at this. Look how fast it's going. If we would have done this with Windows, it would have sucked. Oh, thank you. So I wasn't crazy. I didn't dream about it. And that's kind of the cool thing. The more you learn in cybersecurity, the better you understand how all the pieces fit together. So that's why it's cool to keep learning, because you'll start learning more and more things, and you understand when things break, why they're breaking. So pretty interesting. So no big win, but he had his third round interview scheduled for tomorrow. Interview ended up not showing. Bro, that sucks. That really sucks that they didn't show up to the interview. Sometimes it could just be it didn't go on their calendar in time, or the recruiter didn't realize they scheduled it when the person was out on PTO. Definitely encourage you to reach back out. Maybe it was just a miscommunication on their end. I actually had a candidate that didn't show up today, but it was the recruiter's fault. They failed to add the person we were interviewing to the invite. So you never know. We're humans. Stuff happens. So definitely encourage you to check it out or look a little bit deeper into the problem. Unless they said, hey, we don't want to move forward. But it's always worth reaching out. Yeah, but good luck. Hopefully they reschedule with you and you get to knock it out of the park. We're all excited for you. As I drink my drink, I hear like a gurgle. I was like, I'm doing it right by the mic, so hopefully you're not hearing like weird sounds coming from my from my can here. L, thank you. I'm practicing mock interviews every day with ChatGPT. Oh, that's a really good idea. I had someone else that was doing that. If you have a good mic fitness, I am always happy to do a mock interview with you one day on here. If you're feeling brave and froggy, we can definitely do a mock interview live. definitely willing to do that. If you're willing to do that, I'm sure everyone can get something out of it. Be cool. Just got to make sure that you can hear me and I can hear you well. But also, I know it would be nerve-wracking to have, however many viewers are in here and then your own camera or live on here having to answer questions. But I will say, it's kind of like what do they call it? An acclamation. If you can do it well on this, then when you get in the real interview, you'd probably be like, oh, this is easy. I did this crap live in front of all these people, held my stuff together. I can do it anywhere. But yeah, we can definitely schedule it sometime. Down to do it. Let me see. You want to do it next weekend? I don't think I am. I think I will be here next weekend. Yeah. We can do it next week if you want, fitness. We can connect and I can give you the link and you can pop in here. We can do it. What do you say? You want to start out strong next week, do a live interview? Or not a live interview, but do a practice mock interview? All right. So while he's answering, let's hop into Kibana and guess what it's time to do? It's time to CD to it. Not bin, CD dots, and then we'll run this again, see what happens. Hopefully we don't have the same issue. Sweet, I will jot that down in my notes here so that I have it. Do I have your contact information? If not, just shoot me an email. I'll drop my email down here and I can send you that stuff via email. Like the real professionals we are. We can do, here's my email. Here's my email. Also, anyone else listening that wants their resume reviewed, send it to that email. We'll take care of you. Look at this, folks. Look at this. We didn't get an error. How about that? So we had an issue with the way something got corrupted, but it's working. I think we're definitely have progressed further. So those package.jsons, they're usually required for the different packages, and because this is like Node, right? And so I'm trying to remember which directory they're in, but all of these should have those JSON.package. See, our package.json. And so if these are missing, it's missing key information that it probably requires to do something. So this is me just knowing stuff. See, here it has all this stuff it needs. So, yeah. So that's why I figured something just got corrupted. But what I don't see, which I expected to see, was a port, a password, and some other stuff. I didn't see that here. The Kibana process configured with roles, background, tasks, UI. So let's see if we can't find our way to logging into this now, because we should have all the pieces we actually need to log in. So let's go back here. Let's see. Let's ask it with Kibana running. How do I access the UI? So it should just be a web page running. I just don't know what port it is, although we could probably do a 5601. So what's funny is we didn't see this because it's saying it should have gave its password, which I thought was the case, but it did not. So we'll see if it's running or what's going on with it. So the key is we got further. We'll take that, right? Let's see, server URL, source start value. So this is trying to start up. It looks like a cloud one, but we didn't want cloud. We wanted it to be local. So now let's fix that. Let's see, before I start it, do I need to configure anything to run locally only? Cool, sounds good, fitness. Send it on over. All right, so we got to, it says we probably need to modify Kibana.yml, so, or YAML. And that will be, not there, config. Edit. All right, let's see. Server host, local, server ports, we'll do that. Let's see. That should be correct. Index, it's startup. Let's see. That's all it's saying we need, but I mean, it looks like a lot of other stuff, but we may not need it. So what we're going to do is spin down. Oh, it is working. It was just taking a second. Look at this. Setting up encryption. It was just taking a second. Test manager identified by Kibana UID. Blah, blah, blah. Hash XPack security encryption key. APIs are disabled. We'll give it a second to keep chugging. And there we go. Let's see. The problem is that like I don't know how long these things take to kick off. Because it's probably doing a lot of stuff in the background that we're not seeing. So who knows? Who knows? Generating random key for XBAC to prevent session from being invalidated or only restart. Please set XBAC reporting encryption key in the Kibana YAML or use bin encryption keys command. So we still don't. We still don't have the URL and stuff we're expecting. Oh, here we go. It did work. So starting, it's doing its thing now, I think. It's just taking a little bit of time. So it looks like some things were done. Localhost, HTTP. So this is probably the issue here. This might be HTTPS because that's typically by default now. But it also may not be. May not just be up yet. So these things sometimes do take a while to get started. That's Elastic. This is Kibana. So it's really, they're both really moving along here. Look at all this stuff going on. They're chugging. Maybe they're talking now. Maybe that's what's going on. Sheesh. You can put them up. Let's put them up here so we can show all the magic. Has anyone, while we're waiting, has anyone ever seen ThreatButt? So this is like the big joke that people used to make when I started out, where you know, you get into a SOC, you see the lasers going back and forth, and like, oh, look at all these threats that are happening every day. It's all just made up. But it looks cool. And there's like, I forget who did the original, but this is what it looks like. Ready to watch. Looks so cool. But Socks always used to have like an image like this up, and it was just to like show like, oh, look at all this crazy stuff going on. It's not even real, but it looks cool, right? It's attribution. Look at all this stuff. Australia is attacking us. China, South Korea, Japan, all these people. It's so crazy. Uses flame against brawl. So it's all just funny. It's all just funny stuff. But it looks cool. All right, so let's see if we got anywhere. Health diagnostic, error running, query. So we do have some errors in here, which may be fine. It's saying CPU usage updating. It says our CPU usage is over threshold. That's okay. We'll take that one. It'll be fine. Yeah, usually this stuff is done on like multiple systems to offload some of the requirements. Like it's a whole big ordeal. Like there's a whole team. All they do is deal with SIM, and like they're not engineers that work on all the security things. They're engineers that focus on one tool at a time, typically. Because they're so complex, you know what I mean? Like, it takes so long to get really good at doing these, and you can't really expect one person to be a jack of all trades when you're in the game of security tools. But I will say, if you do like security tools, it's definitely a good field to go into if you like that type of thing. They are, you make decent money too. It's not my jam, but could be your jam. Look at that, we got Elastic. Hey, whoop whoop, hype train there. We're getting it. How about that? I need to get some like cool, fun little get professional, do all this stuff, but you know, whatever. One day I'll figure out the stream game. All right, so we have stuff working, I think. And we're at just over an hour, so we're good. Now, the trick is we want to get our logs into this. We got to get our logs in here. So that's the next part. So we already enabled them. We set up our SIM. Now we need to get the logs into the SIM so we can do analysis. So let us do this. I think we need Filebeats, or let's see. I think it's Filebeats. Let's see. Here we go. And so this is one of the components, right? So I also need to figure out how we can get some kind of chalkboard or something that I can share so I can draw and do ugly diagrams that help to visualize some of the stuff, right? So imagine we just have an Elastic system somewhere where it is something we can tap into and look at things, but it doesn't really help to tap and look at things if nothing's going in there. Now, Filebeat, imagine every system in the environment is just sending logs to the Elastic server. So this is that piece that we're doing here. We have to have Filebeat or some type of agent on each of the systems that's forwarding the logs from the host into the SIM. So that's the fun piece here. Now the question is, do we need to do any configuration? Start the daemon by running sudo. Great. Let's do some sudo. Sudo doesn't work because we're not on Linux. So this is going to install it, but surely we have to configure it somehow. We got to configure it. So we will do the old, let's see, look for a get started with Filebeat. Get started with Filebeat. Let's do the doc. Filebeat, before you log in, Elastic self-managed, install, boom, done. Filebeat, Windows, download, extract, rename the Filebeat version directory to Filebeat, open a PowerShell thing, and do install service.filebeat. So it says we have to do a few things here. That's kind of interesting. So we have it. It did do what we wanted. What it did already did what was expected, or what it was asking us to do. So let's go ahead and do PowerShell. We can do ISE. I like ISE because I have the ability to easily fix the commands I'm running. So if you ever see me do it in here, that's why. And you'll always see me, even in a pen test, everyone thinks I'm weird when I do it, but I'm super lazy where I have a notepad, I'm doing my command, I'll copy and paste it in the terminal and run. If I have to modify, then I go back, modify it, run. And that's how I do it because I can copy and paste and move stuff around a lot easier that way than in the terminal. And this allows me to do everything in one because you just do the here and then you hit run, and that's it. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty nice, folks. It's pretty nice. Wait, what? So let's see. So this is Filebeat. Oh, so we got to do install service first. So let's do that. I was like, okay, where's the rest of this crap? All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to paste. This should work. Well, it won't work because we're not in the correct directory. So ignore me. It's about to work, though. It's about to work, folks. We'll do it in here. You know why it won't work? Because there's a frickin' space. There we go. Now we'll run it again. Don't like it. Cannot be loaded because running scripts is disabled. Oh, we got to do enable. What is it? Enable. Let's see. PowerShell. Enable scripts. My brain's not working. I have like 3 hours of sleep, so set execution policy. Bypass. That's what we want. Let's see. Set execution policy. Bypass. Yes to all. Execute. Didn't like it. What? Let's see. Program blah 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 cannot be loaded because running scripts is disabled on the system. For information, see about execution policies. We should have. See, do you want to change the execution policy? Yes. So why is it being silly? Huh. Let's see, cannot be loaded because scripts. So I wonder why it's, oh, we're not elevated. That's probably why. So give me a second. Sorry, folks. Uno momento. So we're going to CD over here. Paste again. Because I forgot quotes. There we go. And now we're going to do this in a second. I'm going to say set execution policy bypass. Yes to all. Then we're going to paste. Magic. All right. Status stopped Filebeat. Why did it stop, I wonder? Okay. Interesting. All right, so that's going. Let's see. From PowerShell, run the phone. If the execution is disabled, oh, it's telling us to do it here. Important. The base of the folder has changed. The install script will check whether exits and move it to Filebeat data for more detail. I wonder if it failed because we were in the folder. Let's try it one more time. Let's get rid of this because I hate having to collect 50 screens. Nope, but we'll take this. I think it's not working because it keeps saying stopped, and I don't understand that piece. Set the host, Filebeat can set the host and port where Filebeat can find the Elastic installation. And set the username and password of the user who is authorized to set up Filebeat. If you plan to use your pre-built Kibana dashboards, configure Kibana. Skip the step if Kibana is running the same host as Elastic. So skip step 2 or step 1? Let's see. Enable and configure collection modules. So let's list the modules. We'll deal with this other stuff in a second. I'm trying to move quickly now because I want to get it rocking and rolling tonight. Yep. And we need to change our folder destination. We'll do here. And we'll say CD. There. And then let's move in there. And then well, I guess we got to run it here. So we'll run it here. Cannot find the file specified. Really? Oh, because we have to create our file. So let's do that. And what we'll do is open this up, and we're going to change the file name. We're going to save it as not copy, not example. We'll save it as filebeat.yaml. This should be that configuration file. You don't have permission to save to this location. Contact the administrator to obtain permission. Really? Is it really going to make me open it up as admin? That's so funny. All right. Hang on. Hang on, people. Now it's frozen. Sad face. There we go. Let's do this. That's not working. So let me do this. Run as administrator. This should give us the permissions. We'll do a open, and we'll just find our way to it. So I'm doing this really clunky because I'm just trying to get this stuff to work. I would definitely take a lot more care if I were doing this in a real environment. So be sure of that. We're just trying to get it to work ASAP more than anything. So we need to change this to all files, and here we go. This should do it. Now let's change the file name. There we go. All right. So what happened was basically we tried to modify. We opened it up as a normal user. It wouldn't let us because it's protected by an admin. So what I did was just open Notepad as administrator, which gave me the ability, gave me write access to the file, and thus we did that. Now we have to figure out how we want to configure this. So let's do that. Let's see. I know, all the tabs, people. Let's see. How to configure Filebeats. Oh man, you're just doing some good stuff, Fitness. I mean, that's a really good. That's really, really good news. I mean, it sucks that it's another third interview, but you're getting interviews and you're getting through multiple interviews. That means you're doing some good stuff, Fitness. How many? Do you know how many interviews are total? Is this the final one, or is there a fourth one for you? All right, let's see. So here's the fun part is I don't think we have a password. Let's see. I want to send my Windows logs. Let's see, here we go. So Filebeats, events, let's see. And we'll do this. And we'll add these. See if this helps. And what else does it say? And then for Windows, start service Filebeat. Load assets. We're going to need to load index templates and dashboards. All right, so let's do this first. Filebeat test E. And it says it should be okay. No errors. Yeah, you never know either with these things. Some people have a crazy amount. 3 seems to be a good number. But some people like to drag it out for whatever reason. Let's see, extract Filebeat, run, and then let's do start service Filebeat. Let's do that. So we could probably throw it in here. I could recognize that that was a PowerShell command. Now, what we should have, explore on my own, Elasticsearch. So we can upload files manually if we wanted, but we also want to, we want it automatically pulling in the logs for us so that when we are doing funky stuff, we can look at it. So let us play. Let's see, start important consideration for 2026. Validation, Filebeat, test config. Let's see. So it didn't, I don't think we specified what index or any of that stuff. So Fitness says, I would assume that this is the third final one for the internship. He doesn't know, hopefully. And I've been trying to get an understanding on all the aliases PowerShell because I hate typing out their full commands. Yeah, you can tab complete. Tab complete. That's always a good thing. You could write your own aliases too if you find yourself in there using the same stuff over and over. Let's see, do I need to do anything else for it to show up in an index? Let's see. We got to be missing something here. So we did that. Start service. Yep, look for indices and Filebeat. Okay, let's see. So I thought it was, is it Discover? Trying to remember where it is. Like I say, I am horrible with this stuff. I thought it was search, but I'm such a, there we go. Such a Splunk guy. It's not observe. Let's see. I thought it was search is where it would be at. Let's see what it says. And then stack management, index management. Okay, let's go check that out. Stack management. You can search for it. Stack management. There should be a place somewhere where we can see like the ingestion without actually looking, doing a search, although we need to be able to search too. Let's just see. So there are no indices. Data streams, index templates. So it's not coming in here yet. So I think there's a configuration issue, which was what I was afraid of. And it makes sense, right? Because we didn't configure anything, so should be missing. If you ran the setup command, the data view name should have been automatically created. Let's see. I thought we ran setup E, and all I did was check Filebeat test config E. No, we didn't do the setup E. All right, so let's do setup E first. So many things, people, so many things. We're going to get it. I feel it. We're going to get it. We're going to get it, folks. We got this. If we don't get an error, maybe we did it right. Maybe. And we should also see an index pop up in here. So those are hidden ones. Oh, come on. I believe in you. Let's see. We may have to point it locally, perhaps. Let's see. There's a pretty solid book called like Learn PowerShell the Hard Way or PowerShell in 30 Days. Pretty good one. We did a book club when I was at my first shop where we went through there systematically. Lots of good stuff there. You probably won't use most of it, but it's good. It's good stuff. Let's see, GitHub, Elastic Beats. Data streams. I don't know. I'm just clicking around now. I'm terrible. The stage stream and associations are managed by ILM. Can I turn it on? Nope. I was hoping stuff would start popping in here, and I don't see it. So let's reload and see what happens. Although I don't think that's going to do anything for us. I was expecting some messages here or for it to finish up what it's doing. It shows it loading dashboards, and some things are a little bit slower for us. So who knows? Let's see, it says PowerShell, run this. Oh, you know what? We may need to stop service. So there we go. It's doing some stuff, and then we might have to start the service again. I'm doing stuff out of order. I'm breaking stuff. It's okay. Just let me fail. This is what happens when you're just trying to get stuff to work and you're like skipping around. You ever build furniture and then you put it on upside down and then you gotta take it all apart, like some stupid rail that's integral to it, and you gotta take it all apart, put it back together, and then you're like, oh shit, I did another board upside down, and you gotta do it again. Or is it just me? Am I the only one? All right, so let's start the Filebeat service again. We should be started. We did the install. Now we reload indexes. We reload indexes. And it should be there. I don't know. Let's see. Filebeat, pipeline, blah, 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 blah. So I would expect it to work now, but who knows? All right, so setup, start service, look, then go here, look for index or data streams. So there should be a data stream starting with this. Let's go check the logs and Filebeats and see if there are any issues here. So where were the logs? It says they were Filebeat, program files, Filebeat data logs. Data. Nope. Filebeat data. That's kind of interesting. They break that out like that. That's bizarre. Let's check the one that is the biggest. So it looks like this may have an issue. Open up a notepad. I'm expecting to see some kind of issue down here. Filebeat stopped. Filebeat, it shows it as not running. So let's look at services. So I also want you to know, pointing this out, that this is kind of how pen testing goes sometimes. This is like how my engagement is currently going, where you get like one small step at a time, a lot of effort, one small step, a lot of effort, one small step. Hey, we're making progress. That's what matters. All right, Filebeat. It does show Filebeat running. So that's good. But it's showing it as stopped in there. I'm not sure. Data retention is disabled. Last updated never, storage size 0, 1 indices. So it is showing as an index. Interesting. So we were clicking and running and it didn't load, but it is there. So we have an index. We have an index. All right. Now, I didn't do anything. It just started working, by the way, just in case you're confused and where we are. It's there. So now we need to go to Discover. We may have to do this other stuff, but let's see if it's in Discover. Let's see, boop, boop, right here. There should be a search box somewhere where we can start searching for stuff. What we have accomplished so far is that we have Elastic up here. We have Filebeat running. Now, we just have to see if we can find the logs. And I have to sneeze. Lord. All right. So I'm going to do a really long time. We're going to say star. Empty fields. So this is actually, I've never worked in one that's quite look like this. This is kind of bizarre to me. So I'm trying to figure it out here. Usually you just like can star, but we'll get it figured out. Let's see. Search entire time range. We have the logs here, and we're trying to get them pulled up. Check, go to discover, select Filebeat data view. If logs don't appear immediately, expand your time range just the hour. Ensure service account has event log readers membership. Says we should have the modules. So I did enable all the security modules in here. Not all. I enabled these. So it should, maybe I didn't save it last time. We might have to start and restart the service here. But let's see. So crazy. Let's see. Index management. It's a little slow. Sorry, folks. Open this in new tab. I want to see if it has an ingestion rate or how big the index is. And that'll let us know if it's actually getting logs in. So here it's not showing us the logs, but in data streams, when we clicked Filebeat, so this was the template though. Let's do a restart of the service just in case. Let's see. Stop service. That's fine. Start service. There we go. Should be starting. Filebeat, data stream, yes. Close. So somehow we got to where there was a Filebeat, here it is, indices. And I don't know why there was a file stream indices here and we didn't see it different. Let's go check it out. Storage, 935 documents, one data stream. Cool. So it should be working. So one handles all the logging and whatnot, and then one is like the actual interface that we're in now. So that's the difference between the two. In order to use it as a SIM, you need both. So that's the fun little trick there. Gonna get logs? Give me some logs. Give me some logs. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. We have logs, everyone. We got them. All right. Woo. All right. Now, we are getting there. So the problem was that I forgot to save my updated Filebeat. So let me explain a couple of things before I lose everyone. That's okay. Well, it's not okay that I lose you, but let me explain a couple things. So with Filebeat, you have to specify what logs you want to collect, and which we did right here. So we told them which ones we want. The issue is you'd probably have to look up which type of things, which type of, like how to format, what type of logs you want. And that's kind of the big thing that you need to do. Right now, we see security logs, system logs, win event logs, and whatnot. What we don't have in here is our Sysmon and our PowerShell logs. I don't think. So we'll update it to include that, and then we should be good. But let's open up our sidebar and take a quick look real quick, actually. I know I'm clicking all over the place, sorry. So what we want to do is look in here. I want to see if we can find the field that tells us what type of log. So this is a win log record ID. That's not what we're looking for, I don't think. excuse me. Let's see, event code. This is what we're looking for, event code. So we'll add it over here. And event code is how Windows designates what type of logs you're looking at. So you can see all these here, 4624 authentication logs, a bunch of cool stuff here. What we want is to make sure that we have our, there's 4688s. So if we say we did this, right, we added this, this is going to add it to the search. But I bet we don't have 4688s actually, because they're not done by default. But this is like the event code, so we can modify to whatever event code we want and whatnot. So, all right, so we have a few minutes before, we got about 20 minutes. So let's update our Filebeat to include those logs that we're missing. And then we'll take a peek, make sure they're in here. Then we'll move to the resume review so we can help our fellow community member out with that. And then we'll call it a day. We do have a response from Fitness who said, I see why they call it the elk stack now. Got a sneeze, just not coming. Ooh, okay. Yeah, so elk was Elastic Logstash Kibana. Now it's Filebeats instead of Logstash, so it's EFK. No, I think they call it, I think there's another acronym for it, but yeah, Logstash was replaced by Filebeats at some point. All right, so let's see, let's ask it update Filebeat YAML to include Sysmon and PowerShell script block logging logs. This is the power of ChatGPT, right? We solved a lot of this with ChatGPT just because we're lazy. So Sysmon. So actually, cool. It's kind of cool that you can do a shortcut here, but we'll add these to our current configuration, and then we'll stop and restart the process and see if we don't get those logs. So let's go ahead, do this, and save it, most importantly. Oh my gosh, my nose is running out after that. And now we're going to stop service and then restart. And my guess is the reason why we have to stop and restart is because once you start the service, it loads in the current configuration file and it doesn't reread it, I would guess. And then when you restart it, it reads the configuration and starts utilizing that again. So that's probably why we have to stop and start the service. But let's go ahead and check to see if we can find these in a second. And then Fitness said he'll just add that to the hundreds of other acronyms. Yeah, go for it. There's tons of acronyms in Elastic too you'll have to memorize because there's, you know, there's lots of fun, like the different language, ESQL, all that fun stuff. So let's do, I forget the formatting here, so we're just going to choose we're going to choose an event code, and then we're going to modify it to 4104, which is our script block logs. And if they're in there, we know we did what we needed to do. Right now, Elastic is hating me. So we'll give it a second. I probably just need to allocate some more resources here. 4104, so we got them. Look at that. So, and we have ones, which are the Sysmon ones. So now we have Sysmon. Now we have PowerShell. Now we have all the other Windows logs. And we have what we want. How about that? We got a bunch of logs. So there we go. We're done. Let's call it a day. Out of here. Something to point out. Look how many logs are in here. Look how many logs. So over 5,000, which really isn't that bad for one day. A few thousand isn't that bad. But now imagine this multiplied by thousands. So a lot of times you'll see more than gigabytes. You'll see terabytes of flow. So a lot of times with SIMs, they'll calculate flow of logs, and that's how people get billed. It just depends on the SIM. Some don't bill by flow, but a lot do. But it's flow, storage, and a few other things. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, you're talking about terabytes of data flowing every day, and so it's a lot of data. So you have to be really careful with what logs we turn on. So if you're ever wondering, why don't we just turn on all the logs? How come I only see a handful of the available logs? Is because they eat up a lot of space. Like we have a fairly, I would say a fairly narrow set of logs here for this host, pretty narrow. But it's still eating up this much space. So 5,700 isn't that bad. We should be fine with that. But we can start turning on more and more stuff. There's some fun free EDR tools we could probably add in here and do stuff with. Lots of cool stuff here. So let's do event code 1, and let's see if we can find some of these PowerShell commands we've been running. That'll be fun, right? Fitness asks, have I ever had a moment where I'm writing the wrong query language? I feel the syntaxes start to get mixed up. Yeah, absolutely. So that's even more problematic when you work in different operating systems, different coding languages, different tools. So yeah, you start to mix stuff up. Kind of the great thing is that with AI, kind of helps you hone in some of that a little bit, which is a good thing. And helps you pivot to these other languages and other things, other platforms a lot quicker too. Like with this, I don't know the dang format for Filebeats. Just did it for us in 5 seconds, and that's kind of the cool thing. So it's good. It's good. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of different formats everywhere, and it just having to learn those formats isn't as imperative as it used to be. Understanding why they are the way they are will definitely probably help better, so that you know, hey, I used to be able to do it in this other language or this other tool. Can I do it in this one? And that's pretty powerful in its own right. So here's our command line. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling out the events and stuff just so I can show you a few things. Oh, it didn't do what I expected. I thought that was here. Let's I must have did it wrong. I was trying to get the column name pulled out. Oh, here it is. So do that. And this is where like I'm having to remember how to use Elastic because I haven't been in Elastic in a while. Oh no, I did that wrong. Gosh. And it's so slow. I don't want to copy value. Filter out value. This is the filter. We didn't want to filter it. There's supposed to be a way in here where we just add the columns. Like, I didn't mean to do this. I thought you could do it in here. I know Splunk you can. I'm way more familiar with Splunk, which is whatever, you know. We can just come down here and do it also. So we just have to find the values that we want. So like command line is one that I want. So you could go into one of these, look for the information, and then add it this way. And this allows us to quickly filter through the events. So image is another one I'm looking for. HI. And we'll add that here. So you can add whatever you want here, right? And it just allows us to see what's going on. So no biggie, just wanted to show. And we could probably see some of our CMD events. So like if we said like image is cmd.exe, we could probably find all those events pretty quick. I think this is how you do keyword search. I don't know. let's see, if you had to pick 3 AI tools for working with, what would you say are the ones who have best assisted? So I mostly use ChatGPT. It's really annoying with some of the stuff I do because it wants to be a pain. It starts putting up guardrails, and I just wanted to explain a tool or how to help me through something. I'd like to set up my own instance of like Llama where I don't have to worry about guardrails, and I can just do whatever. So that's on my roadmap. But ChatGPT is fine. I don't like Copilot. I hate Copilot, actually. It's really annoying. It's not that great. Gemini, yeah. AJ, my podcast co-host, swears by Claude, so he loves that one. There's some other ones that AJ uses. If you're on here, AJ, throw something in the chat. Tell people what he's the better AI guy. I'm pretty simple with stuff. I'll use ChatGPT and I'll figure it out. Whatever I'm building, but he sets up all these workflows and crazy stuff with his. He's way more about it than me. I can probably test them better than he can. Well, I can definitely test them better than he can, but he's much better at building the workflows because he does it. I don't ever do it. So, top 3: ChatGPT, ChatGPT, ChatGPT. Claude's probably pretty good. I've heard some great things, and whatever the N8N or whatever that one is probably pretty good too. All right, so I was hoping to show some of the other commands and stuff that we were doing earlier, but I would say we're in a good spot to come back next time. And now we have our lab set up for the most part, and we can start doing our attacks, and we can start seeing what it looks like in the security stack, and we can start adding tools and then using Filebeats to collect those logs from our tools as well. So we'll continue building on this. I'll probably give it some more resources so that it's much faster for us. I'll make sure to take care of that. And yeah, we'll keep playing with this. Hopefully this is, let me know in the comments, is this actually beneficial that we're walking through this? You're seeing the mistakes, or would you like some super glossy stuff? Because I'm going to do the glossy stuff too. I'm going to do an easy guide to follow for YouTube, but this is fun, us just working through things. All right, guess what time it is, folks? It is time for resume roasting. Hopefully you're in chat. If not, you can catch it later. We have a resume. Speaking of, if you haven't sent your resume over, you like for me to look at it, send it to the email. It's in chat. And we will get to it on one of these. If you have any questions, feel free to hit them up in Discord and our future communities. And yeah, any questions, just drop them in chat. So let's go ahead and get started. So this person would like to basically, he said that he was working on getting into an offensive role. Actually, I should preface it. I should set the stage because I've been using these as YouTube videos. So let's start over. All right, so we're going to do our resume roasting of our mysterious candidate. We're going to look at it in the lens of whatever they're applying for, so it makes sense for them. And this person wants to initially get into offensive security and do that full time, but they've been struggling to even get interviews. So they haven't gotten any interviews with this resume, and they're saying, you know, they're pretty frustrated. If anything, they just like to get in a cybersecurity role. So they're also, one of the other limitations, because we all have limitations, right? They're not able to move from where they are currently. So this is going to kind of restrict their abilities to do, to find roles, right? They're going to have to compete a lot harder for those remote roles, and then it's going to be, then they're kind of limited to whatever is available in that local market supply. All right, so let's check this out. So right now it's pretty easy to read. He's got some good headings. He has a different font here, which makes it easy to read. He's got a lot of certifications, some good education here, some skills, professional experience. So overall, first glance, is organized well. So what last one we did they had a really amazing looking template. Very, very good. This one, template, isn't as easy on the eyes, but it doesn't detract. So this is a good example where simple is fine. It's not taken away from it. It's cool. Um, it doesn't really help too much to even to spend a ton of more time developing your resume past this. But if that's your thing, add a little style. But I'm just saying, there's no need to put additional effort past what this person has done into your resume. It's probably behooves you to put that into developing your skills more than anything, I'd probably say. All right, so let's start with the summary. Navy veteran and cybersecurity analyst with hands-on offensive security experience across enterprise, representative, lab environments, and real-world application security testing. So in here, we expect to see stuff about the Navy and stuff that shows he was a security analyst in the offensive space. And then let's see, applies a methodical, wow, I can't even talk, attacker mindset to validate exploitable and real world risk, adaptable, quick to learn, and reliable in high stakes, low structure settings. This is okay. Like, I would say hiring managers kind of giggle at some of these that people put in there. I get it. You're trying to fill it in with fluff. What they're trying to convey is, I don't need a lot of guidance. You can just tell me, point me in a direction and say go. Cool. Let's see. Seeking offensive security penetration testing role. So they're level setting, saying, hey, this is what I'm looking for. They also have security clearances. So if there's a military base near them, they may be able to hop into these. I know a lot of people, definitely a lot of organizations in this space, prioritize those with clearances over those without, because they're really expensive to do the paperwork with. All right, now, so this is pretty basic. We know what they're looking for. They've kind of level set where they're at. Now let's see what their proof is, right? The rest of this is all that proof. So certifications, we have GPEN. So this is the initial penetration testing certification for SANS. We have GWAPT, which is the web application one as well. They also have PNPT, TCM. They also have GCIH. So this is incident handler. This is the basic blue teamer cert for SANS. They have Security Plus. They have also AWS Cloud Practitioners. So they have a little bit of cloud experience or cloud knowledge as well. So I would say, and I'm looking at this through a lens, I actually have all of these certifications except for the PNPT. I don't have any of the TCM ones. And I will say, this person, just through these certifications, hasn't gotten a ton of great pen testing exposure. I know it looks like it is, but these are just kind of introductory topics. For me, if I'm hiring for an offensive security role, I would like to see an OffSec certification, or I would like to see them doing bug bounty programs as well. Talking about how they found bug bounty, especially if they're looking for web application type stuff. But I would like to see an offensive OffSec security certification here, simply because, again, these do have hands-on stuff, but it doesn't put you through the paces that OffSec does. And I tell you this from my heart. I did all of these before OffSec, or before my OSCP, all of them. And OSCP rocked my world. So all but this one, sorry, all but this one. They rocked my world. I didn't know, even with all these certifications, even with the GXPN, so I even had more than this, OSCP jacked me up. It is that hard. And the OSCP was the most realistic one for the job. So I had all these certifications. I got hired in a junior pen testing role, and then I did OSCP in my first year in my pen testing role. That was the most realistic to my actual job, I'm telling you. So my advice, just like all these, just like with the blue side, hands-on certification that simulates much closer to what you would do on a real basis. Okay, so I know he probably hates to hear that with all this money invested in his certifications. Sorry. I mean, it is what it is. And I'm telling you this from the heart too, because I had all these plus one more before my OSCP, and I was not ready to pen test. I didn't know what the heck I was doing as a pen tester. I'm telling you right now, even with all these. So get a more realistic hands-on certification. There are probably a couple more out there as well besides OSCP, but in the pen test world, that reigns king. Now, if you want to do web application stuff specifically, there is a OffSec one for web app. It's really good too. It's amazing. It's one of the ones I started last year and didn't have time to complete due to some other stuff getting in the way. Really good stuff. There's also well, you probably don't need it. Burp Suite, Portswigger has a course as well that you can run through, and there's gosh, if I can remember, there's another web application security course out there that's really, really good. Web app testing course. Let's see if I can find it. This guy is like crazy good stuff. I just got to find it. It's none of these. It's none of these. So this is that Portswigger one I was talking about, but it's none of these. Let's see. I don't see it. I used to have it. I get emails from them every once in a while because I went through all their stuff. I'm looking. I don't see it. That sucks that it's not as popular because there's really good stuff. I'm like looking really quickly because I'm under the gun. Oh, Pen Test Lab. So this is a really good one. I'm going to drop this in chat for folks. If you're interested in web application testing, this is a really cool course. Really cool stuff. What is this mess? What? Got like this weird like Google link business. There we go. I'll answer your comment in a second. But let's get back. Anyways, hands-on certifications would round this out. So if you had an OSCP in here, he'd probably get looked at a lot more for penetration testing roles, or the other one, or the OffSec web testing one. But I would definitely encourage you to get to OSCP, especially if you're interested in the offensive side. It's like the hacker high school diploma. I don't know where I got that phrase from, but it really is. It really, really is. So cool. All right. Education, bachelor's in science, cybersecurity. So bachelor's are really good because it helps you, especially if you have your security clearance. It's a requirement for a lot of jobs to either have a 4-year degree or 3 years of experience. So with this, he can get a job with 0 experience, although a security team would probably not hire him, but he may be able to get on a vuln management team or a disclosure program one as well. So let's see, SANS undergraduate certificate in applied security, SANS graduates. So this is actually have this graduate certificate. It's just fodder for the resume, just fills in blanks. It looks good, but it's not something that's going to really get them the job. Let's see, applications. So this is good stuff. These are just common tools. I don't know if anyone uses this anymore. You definitely don't use this if you're a pen tester, or this. But decent stuff. Platforms, Snagit, image capturing, Plex track. So this is I don't know if it's a newer, but it's a reporting platform. So cool. All right, so let's look at his experience. So he does have some here. So application security analyst. So it looks like he does have real world experience. So this is where he was talking about it up at the top. And he has some stuff where he's actually doing web application pen testing, it seems like. And let's see, improving consistently throughout throughput across web app, websec testing. So this is good, but it's really short, which it would be concerning to me that he was only there for a few months. So that would be something I would ask about. Like, why were you there for 3 months? Was it an internship? If so, or was it a contract? Because this would be concerning to a lot of hiring managers probably. So I would annotate whether that was an internship or a contract role, if it is. Otherwise, you have to explain why he wasn't there but 3 months. that is definitely a red flag for people to see a short time frame. It is. So we want to be there 1 to 2 years in each company that we work for, unless you're a government contractor. In that case, things are wild. Like on mine, I think I have 4 contractors I work for, but it's just how the contract fell in different people's hands, and it is off-putting for people. So I did modify how it looks so it didn't look like it was job hopping, because that's what they see, job hopping. All right, so security administrator, IT systems manager. So he did that for quite some time, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Pretty cool. This is good. Just shows that he's been in the IT space for some time at least. So that's good. The only thing he has to prove, right? He doesn't have a great offensive security resume yet. He just doesn't. And so that's what he's trying to prove, that he can do that well. So projects, CTF walkthroughs, Active Directory lab, enterprise attack simulations. So this is cool that he's doing it. Again, I want to see some either bug bounty hunting stuff or one of the OffSec certifications. Advisory board. This is a good little resume thing, but all it is from what I remember, is just a mail list. VetSec with active participation in Slack, cool. Attendees to these conferences. It shows he's out in the community, so that's good. That's a good positive signal for me as a manager. Gamer, hobbyist. This might help in terms of culture fit. That, if someone on the interview board is doing these, they would ask about these. So those are good for culture fit things. All right, so overall, how would I rate this? So this person would not get an interview for a full-time position, maybe an internship. However, you're not going to find a ton of OffSec internships, simply because for me, having like a pen test company, I'm not going to expose my customers to temporary employees. Are you kidding me? So you're just not going to get it. Even for a junior pen tester role, I would like to see an OffSec certification. Yeah, so that's my suggestion. If you want to strengthen this, your big key pieces here: get an OffSec cert, get some experience, talk some of the bug bounty programs, especially if you want to be in web application security stuff. Yeah, I think the biggest bang for your time would be the offensive security certification, OSCP. So cool. Other than that, if you put that on here, you'd probably start getting interviews, honestly. I would say you should start seeing more positive feedback from that. But also, depending on how your market is, you might have to even strengthen this more from that, doing some other hands-on courses for these different areas for web app and whatnot, because you have to compete at a higher level than most people, because your market's limited, or you're in a more competitive market for your remote stuff. So there you go. Thank you for sending in your resume. That was a little bit more long-winded than I thought. I need to start doing these in like 5 minutes maybe, but hopefully me diving into the details is helping people kind of see where my brain is as a hiring manager. All right, so we have some comments in chat. It's my man Fitness here. He says, holy G excerpts. Yeah, yep, holy G excerpts. Honestly, here's a really good one. I honestly thought that SANS certs were amazing, since everyone talks about how SANS courses are the pinnacle of education in cyber world. Not true. Not true at all. I would say there are a handful of certifications from them that are worth getting, but not all of them. Like GPEN, whatever. I look at it as an introductory course. GWAPT, again, an introductory course for me. That's what I would consider it as. GCIH, same introductory course. PMPT, he tells you it's an introductory course. So these are all very basic introductory courses. If I were to hire this guy with this, I would say for me, just not knowing this person at all, I would say there's a low probability that I don't know how to say this. I don't have a lot of confidence that they would get up to speed very quick, because even with all these behind him, he has a huge mountain to climb in terms of knowledge in order to be an effective real world penetration tester, because a pen tester is only as good as the knowledge that they have. And so if I am employing you to test a client and you don't have a ton of knowledge, guess what? They're not getting a lot of quality from the work we're doing, and that makes me look bad, because I'm hiring you to do this work, but you're not doing it at a high level. So even more so than the blue side, offensive folks have a mountain to climb, to get into that role. So pen testing is not an entry level role. Like they're an entry level pen test, so like a junior role, but there's so much knowledge required to get in. Now, for this guy, if he wanted to apply to one of my roles that we have over on the blue side, I would definitely interview him. He'd probably pass the interview. I'd probably hire him. If he could answer some basic stuff, he should be good, maybe with the GCIH, but he should have a really good understanding of what attackers do. So he'd probably be a really good fit for one of my entry-level roles. Now, how the salary compares to all of his years in IT, I don't know. He probably wouldn't like that. But that's the trade-off when you're changing specialties too. So just depending on where they're at. So there we go. Let's see what else. Hey, Philippe, just popping in. Hi, thanks for showing support. Always popping in here, man. Fitness said, I would love to do an OffSec blue team cert, but I'm not sure if they even have that, and the pricing is very out of my range. Yes, they do have it now. They do have blue team ones. Yes, it is a little up there. It's hard to put that kind of money up early on. I didn't pay that kind of money before I got in. Now, well, I'll drop a couple of grand on training, but my employers would drop that too. I have a training budget everywhere I've been. They're willing to pay for courses, but if I were attempting to break into offensive security, I would definitely prioritize that, or at least do a ton of the cheaper certifications. But OffSec, there's no way around it. You gotta either do maybe the HTB one. Some people are swearing by that, but OSCP is the king of OffSec cert. So it is what it is. But even on the blue side fitness, I would definitely recommend you hit some of these, or at least not any of these, but maybe like the PNPT or something like that. One of the very low level intro offensive ones. They're really good for defenders, because you better understand what you're looking for as a defender. All right, so with that, let's call it a wrap. I got another long night ahead of me. I got to hack some stuff, and but it was fun hanging out with you. I'm glad we got it working tonight. Again, let's do the self-promotion piece. So do the like, share, subscribe thing. We'll be on this almost every Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. my time, and whatever time yours is. My time's Eastern time. And we'll be in here. Definitely happy to do stuff with whatever you're trying to learn, and I want people to start following along. So feel free to do that as well. These recordings will be up on YouTube permanently, so you'll be able to find this. I'll change the title though. And it will be up on Twitch for 1 to 2 weeks, whatever it is. And feel free to join the community on Discord channel. And for folks doing really cool stuff, I'll give you an invite to the private channel where you can help each other get better at what you do. With that, let's see, what did Philippe say? Let me know if you have any positions available in your company for IAM positions or even a SOC position who can use Microsoft Sentinel and Defender. I don't think we have any tier ones open. We might have some IAM ones, but check out adaptforward.com. That's where all our latest positions are. So I'll put that in chat really quick for Philippe. Let's see, adaptforward.com. But check it out, apply there. And this isn't my company. This is who I work for. So if you want to go hang out with me, you can check them out. But check that out. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you around. Happy hacking, and have some cool wins for me next week. See what you can do. And I look forward to hearing it. Everyone, take care.